Just me. Okay, November 5th. Oh my gosh, December today. Jesse and Terry and Roman. Hello.
Hello.
And I
Hi.
recruited you.
Oh, this
um,
mystery secret organization here that I've joined.
oh
So
my gosh.
feel
Well,
very
there's
privileged.
no, there's a channel. Actually, do we even have a reminder? We do, right? For this one? Oh no, that's for the APAC one. There's a Slack channel and you can discuss, and then there's also just this, it's a group call. So you can join. I sent you the link, Roman, to the shared calendar. You can
Cool.
add it.
Thank you.
And yeah, we have some fun. Oh, bye, Chad. We have some fun. Actually, I didn't even look at what you were having. You were having like Git push problems?
Uh yeah, I did a rebase of a branch and resolved the merge conflicts, and then I tried to do a push force, and I'm getting it says rejected stale info. I can share my screen if
Okay.
that would
Ooh,
help.
some Git stuff.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Chad.
Hey.
Hey, Chad.
Um,
Yeah, so I'm trying to push this, and I don't know if I messed something up. And I tried it twice now and got to the same place. I thought maybe I hadn't pulled some changes before rebasing, but
can you show the command you actually ran? Because I think it's above the scroll line.
I did a push force with lease. That's just an alias I have.
Okay. And I need to be reminded of what force with I just do get push force. So what does force with least do?
It checks to make sure that you're up to date with the remote and refuses to do the push if you're not.
I think it's
So I
the
did a,
like the safer one.
Yeah, basically make sure you don't override the remote if somebody else has pushed since the last time you did.
but nobody's else has pushed. I can share the branch here. Sorry, I got too many windows open. Find it.
Did the MR maybe have a rebase command done on it on the
I
UI?
I did a I did a rebase command there, and I figured that's what was happening. And
Mhm.
then so I did a reset hard with the origin, and then did it again, and then I got to this again.
Yeah, so it's the
This is the
stale
MR.
info is like this is what the lease is supposed to prevent you to do. So your origin is not your local rem copy of the origin is not in sync with the remote copy. So you could
So what I did is I did a git reset hard with uh
With
what is it,
what's on?
origin.
Yeah.
Like that. Is that should that seems okay, right?
Try it.
So
What's the
this would
worst that can
start it
happen?
over.
You just lose all your
no,
work.
that all that's doing is resetting your local branch to your remote copy of the origin. But the origin, which is like the read-only mirror of what is on the remote, is still out of sync. So you need to actually don't have the command off the top of my head, but you basically need to get your
Get
working
reset
copy.
head. Get reset head.
No,
Um,
that's not just going to do your. We'll have to
like I'm
ask
just saying, if
AI.
you like delete, I usually delete the branch and just recheck it out. If that, but if you have stuff that like you don't want to lose, then that you might not want to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't have
Let me
anything
ask
local.
AI real quick. You don't have anything local?
No, and I just did a GDK update, so I should have everything from origin, and then I did this reset, and then I did the rebase again, and then I still hit the stale info error.
Okay, if you don't have anything to lose locally, try this. Try just deleting the remote tracking branch. So like git delete git branch dash capital D and then the origin slash git
Yeah.
branch dash D.
Oh
So
yeah,
git
so yeah.
Oh,
But he's on the branch. Doesn't he have to go back to master first?
no git branch
No?
dash capital D.
Oh, I thought you had to go back to master first too. I'm
Yeah.
looking.
Okay, you're not deleting your local branch. You're deleting the remote tracking branch. So capital D, which is force it, and then origin slash, which is the
Oh,
remote tracking branch.
okay, so I want
Chad,
to do the origin one like this.
but
Yeah, and
Chad,
you gotta
remote.
Won't that delete
Sorry.
the one
Okay.
on
Maybe I'm misunderstanding
if
the
we
meaning
run
of remote
this?
tracking. He's not deleting the version that's on GitLab because he wants that MR to
right.
remain.
The remote tracking branch is like when you do a pull, it's like this read-only mirror of
Got
what
it.
is on the
Okay.
remote, but that
Okay.
is not your working copy. So
Okay.
do this, and that should blow it away.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's
cross your
blow it
fingers.
away.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, I guess
Uh, that's not there on branch. If you do a git branch dash capital A and then grep just for the last name, what do you get? Just for the add, yeah.
hmm?
All right. Or
I think it's
what's the commandless branch? It's like I'm
I think
forgetting
it's
it off.
dash dash all or is it I don't know if it's capital A or dash.
uh,
Look at us learning Git. Okay.
Yeah, I literally always change over to the branch. I guess I don't have to do that. And
Yeah,
I
the
learned
little A.
something.
It's a little A. I should have told you capital A. Sorry.
lowercase like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby A.
Everything on the GitLab repo takes so long.
Oh.
Remotes. Oh yeah, I think you have to put remotes in front of it because reasons. So the same command you ran, but just with the remotes slash in front of it. No, the delete command.
Oh, this one
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, but you need to slash origin, like
Oh
the
yeah.
fully qualified name of the ref. Yep. Try that one.
Why? Wait, remotes. It should be remote with no S.
Well, it says remote up here.
Remotes. Okay. My goodness.
Yeah, it's off time. Just if you don't have anything locally, just completely delete the branch and clone it again, I guess.
Mhm.
How do I do that?
This
Go
is
to
the part where I
master.
always change over to master and then
Yeah.
like do git
Yeah.
Yeah.
branch dash D and then just the branch name.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
learned something. I'm gonna try that next time.
Can you can you try to do a fetch first? Like git fetch origin space uh and then I think just the re slash. Yeah, try that.
Mm, cool.
Okay, so what did it do? Now it made your remote tracking branch. So now it's forced update. Uh, so, so try your push with least now. Does it work?
You have to go back to the branch though, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so now you're way out of you're out of you've diverged. So
I can.
do you really want to push this? Like, do you know what is going on
Let me
here?
just check. I have my merged work here. Yeah, yeah, looks okay. Um,
But you're out of date. So what I would suggest now is that you But it looks like you've rebased against something other than this remote branch, like maybe you rebased against master, but the branch wasn't up to date with master. So if is that the last thing you did is do a rebase against master?
I did a local fetch on master, and then I went to this branch and I'm rebased it on top of master.
Okay, then this is expected, and you have three commits. Um, so yeah, YOLO, do the force with lease, and it should.
Okay, cross your fingers for me, everyone.
I mean, is this an
Always
MR?
worth
If it's an
pushing.
MR, worst case, you just like go back to
Yeah,
find the
yeah.
actual SHA of the last
Yeah,
thing you were at and start over.
yeah.
Well, can check in 10 minutes when this is done.
Oh my gosh. Wait, why does this take so long for you, Roman? Is it all the left hook stuff?
I'm not sure. Does it normally not take does it
It's
normally?
left hook. Left hook takes a while,
This
Yeah.
shouldn't be this
but
long.
usually
It
not this
shouldn't.
long. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think
No.
there's something.
Um,
For me, the AI gateway takes a long time because there's something with the way we do our left hook checks in the AI gateway that's really, really slow. Oh, because it does the whole code base, it doesn't just do the diff. But
Really,
the
Jesse?
yeah.
Like AI gateway is pretty quick for me.
Oh, well, I guess we're living opposite lives. For me, AI
Yeah.
gateways, I do left hook equals zero like every time for AI gateway, and then but for GitLab, it's not that slow.
So trying to figure out how you got in this confusing state. Like there must have been something you did that you missed pulling an update to the remote
Yeah,
branch.
yeah.
Is anyone else working on it, or did you work on it on another machine? That's usually the only
So
situation
so
where that happens.
I think
Mm,
the way I initially got into here was I did a rebase in the UI on GitLab.com.
There you go.
And
That's
then
it. So
I
that's in
forgot
another
about
machine.
that. I did all this, and then I
mm,
realized what I did. But then I went back and I did a git reset hard to the origin, and I thought that would bring in all those changes. And
Whenever
um,
you work on the same branch on two different clones, like you're crossing the streets, all bets are off, and you need to know exactly what you're doing. And only do one of them at once and make sure it's completely up to date, and then switch to the other one. That's why
yeah.
people never collaborate on branches. You do like
I'm
a
not
sub
sure I
branch.
understand what you mean.
Basically, you made some changes and pushed them from another working copy, which is basically the GitLab UI. But locally, you then, without pulling that latest updated
Hmm.
version from
oh,
the
rebased.
canonical remote, you went ahead and started doing local changes, rebased, and then it's like that's exactly what the force with lease is intended to prevent. It's
Yeah.
like,
Right,
no, 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 you're
right.
not up to date. Somebody else has done something on the remote since the last time you
Hmm.
pulled it.
Hmm.
I'm not going to let you do it.
Right,
So in this case, force with lease caught you. That's exactly what it's intended for. You
Yeah.
right.
could have blown away those changes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I kind of have something similar happen where like I'll either rebase and forget, or I'll apply changes and forget to pull. Like someone
Mm,
does a review and I change stuff locally and then I forget to pull. So I have like a shortcut that does a
mm,
git pull rebase origin, like that kind of usually fixes a lot of these things, but
mm.
not if two rebases are done. This is like entirely way too slow. Something is definitely wrong. This
Yeah,
should
let's
not
fix
take three
this.
minutes. Like that's not, something is not right. Um,
So
Is
you
it
might want to just
maybe
go visually check on the
okay?
GitLab UI to make sure everything you expect is there and nothing got blown away.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's GDK. I feel like Siddharth had something with this, and I wish I could remember what it
Is there
was.
some
But his
kind
was
of
taking like 10 minutes.
I haven't reinstalled my GDK since I started at GitLab, which was the start of March. So, um,
I literally have never done it.
Yeah, I
And
never
I've been
do
here
it.
6 years. You don't need
okay,
to as long as you
No,
keep it
yeah.
updated and are know how to fix bugs.
Yeah, I do a
that's
GDK
good to
update
hear.
like every day when I start
Oh
my
no, GDK
day.
update I've done. I've just not reinstalled my
Yeah.
GDK.
No,
oh
I've
You
only
yeah,
ever
don't
okay.
need
reinstalled
to.
it when I switched laptops, and I've been here since 2020.
Hmm.
I switched laptops only twice. I
Um
hate redoing my GDK from scratch. It messes up my life.
yeah.
Um, but the push thing, I feel like there was something funky with like, oh, like the branches that were being pulled on. There was some weird Git settings that were causing it to be so slow. Um, that is way too slow. I would lose my mind if it was that
Yeah, I'm
slow.
usually an AI gateway, so it doesn't affect me too often, but it
Oh,
is kind of
okay.
annoying.
Yeah.
Have you done
Yeah.
a prune and a GC?
Mm. That was I was
Git
thinking of
prune and
prune.
git GC. Run both of those separately.
Like to my local branches.
Yeah, I just type
Uh,
git prune, like
I
one
have not. That would probably be it.
git
Let's
prune
see.
and then git GC.
Just get prune, no arguments.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I
And then
think
when that finishes, do a git GC for
What's
garbage
GC
collect.
garbage collection? Oh, I've never done that.
Yeah.
I thought that GDK would recommend to get prune sometimes if it detects that you have too many branches. But I might be
Maybe Doctor does. I don't know.
it's not for Roman.
Well, I hope you sped my stuff up here. That would be amazing. That's like
That would be huge.
minutes
Even to
every
get
day
prune is
saving my
slow.
life.
Even to get prune is slow. Hold
Prune
on,
is
I'm gonna
always
do.
slow. It
You
takes
Is
know,
forever.
it?
I do run the remote flows a lot, and that's always creating branches. So I
Mm,
could have like a heck of a lot of
Oh, yep.
fuel up
That
That's
here.
sounds
probably
like a
why.
suspicious culprit.
Yeah.
but it creates branches. But that shouldn't. Hold on, Roman. I'm thinking about this.
I, I,
You're
and
running
I've also not
flows.
pruned before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you're running flows like on GitLab.com, like not for your GDK, but like on production. But it would create a branch
Yeah, but that
for
would
your
affect
GitLab
everyone
repo.
equally, though.
Hmm,
Yeah,
not
never mind.
really.
Yeah, there's an open issue for that. Have we followed up on that recently?
You're talking about the branches? That's gonna be fixed. Like Sarabi's working on it.
Okay,
She's
cool.
already added the change. The flows are gonna create their own branch, and the agent's gonna come up with the name, and only when they're needed. So, um, that should help with that.
Okay, okay. And then you're gonna do GC here. Because for what it's worth, 3, 6, 7, 3. I guess your Git prune wasn't that much slower than mine. I just did it. I'm garbage collecting too, just in solidarity.
Nice. Well, my MR looks okay, so I think nothing blew up. Thank you very much for that help. Um, I don't know if we need to watch my garbage collector going, but
Yeah, hopefully that helps. I mean, that's way too slow. I wouldn't be happy with anything that's over, really like anything over 10 seconds is too slow for me, but I try to be patient. I'll like wait up to 30 before
It's
I get
well, that would
hard.
mad.
be much faster than what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I lose focus after
Well, I do usually switch windows
10
and do something
seconds.
else.
Yeah. I remember I like went to this like hack night a million years ago. I think it was a Vim hack night, and this guy shared some. It was like a what was that notification system? Growl. Like it was like you could program it yourself on your system. Basically, he created a system so that when his RSpec suite was done or his test suite, whatever language or framework it was, finished, it would like notify him so that if he'd lost
Yeah.
focus when he was running his local test suite, it would. And I thought that was so silly because I was working at a startup and our test suite was really fast, and now I could really use that.
Jesse, when I have a long running command, I'll do like the command and say done. And then also my laptop will be like done. And I'll be like, oh, and then
Wait,
I'll go check
your
it.
laptop just says done? I'm not familiar
Yeah,
with
if you
say
type
done.
say done in the terminal, it'll you
Oh
can
yeah,
change your voice the voice too.
that's what my GDK update does. Like it says GDK update done. That's like yells it out in the middle of the rework.
It
Really?
scares me when I
Oh my
forget about it.
gosh. We should make that should just be part of the GDK update command. I think
I think
everyone
we
should use
might
that.
get some complaints if that happened. Or,
Well, I
or,
don't
or
think
an
so.
option that you could turn on. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, an
And then
opt out.
yo, get back to work. Stop serving.
Exactly.
And then,
Yeah.
I'm looking at your GC versus mine. But yeah, see my GC finished real fast. Oh wow. Yeah. Hold on. Enumerating
Is
objects.
there
You have a
is
lot
there
more objects than I do.
possibly is there possibly like logs or something somewhere that AI gateways producing that is not being cleaned up or detected by like GDK Doctor or something like because I'm constantly testing stuff in the with
Well,
remote
it,
flows. I'm just thinking of where I might be building up
it
something slow.
I would start by like specifically looking at what left hook is doing. Which of the commands is running slow, then run that
Hmm.
command individually, directly from the
Hmm.
command line and try to figure out why it's slow.
Right.
You can do all that down.
It didn't even look like it was hitting the left hook commands. It was almost like it was hanging before it started it. I don't know. It was
I
really
mean,
weird.
left hook does a bunch of stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If
You
your
can
Git commands are
debug it.
slow, yeah.
Mm. Hey, Roman, how good are you at debugging Duo chat in the web? If
Duo
it's
chat in the what? Sorry.
in the web.
Uh, Depends on what side the problems are on. If they're on the agent platform side, like the
It
workflow
might be
service,
good.
then I could probably help. But if they're on the Rails side, I haven't looked at that very much.
Yeah, I mean, if Terry or Chad have anything they want to work on, I have an issue. I'm just
I,
trying on staging to get to the root cause of like a thing on issue. And I think it has to do with usage billing, but I want to be able to pull out the exact error for the team. And I haven't, I'm a little lost. So we could do that. Group debugging, it's not coding.
I
So if
have
someone else doesn't know.
like a dumb question, a dumb basic
Great.
question to ask.
Is it about how
Like,
Git works? In which case you probably know the answer.
no, like, so I'm taking this course, like I'm trying to level up on the agentic coding, and I'm like started using Claude Code, Claude CLI, Claude Code CLI, and write commands. They have commands, built-in commands and agents and stuff. But I'm trying to correlate that to what Duo does. So I know there's a Duo CLI, and I'm actually talking to them about, maybe myself trying to add commands. But I don't understand how the AI catalog and agents and flows, like this is the thread I was on before. I still don't like where do those show up and like how do I use them? Because I swear the conclusion before was like, oh yeah, there's this drop down where you pick the agent or flow you want to use, but now I can't find that anymore. So like when I go to
Okay.
the AI catalog, like how do I use those things? And there's
Mhm.
an open issue to document this, but I still don't understand. Can you
Mm. I can
like
walk,
walk
or
me
Roman
through
can
that
walk.
like I'm five? Like just go to the AI catalog and show me how to
Yeah,
use something there?
sure. I could do it, or Roman, you could do it too. You're also,
Sure, I can share my screen. Um,
yeah,
I have no idea what state my GDK is in. It was a little broken
yeah. Well, you could
yesterday,
do it
but
on
I
I
mean,
production
you could
too.
do it on production. Just do it on
oh
.com.
Yeah.
yeah, true. Well, let's try this. I got it open.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so I'm not sure where to start, but
Well,
these
like starting
chats
from the AI
appear.
catalog, like when you literally navigate
The
to
AI
the AI
catalog.
catalog. Here, I'll send you the
Hmm.
link you're talking about.
I got to go to a
Oh
project to
yeah.
do that,
You gotta
which
go.
is on my
Well,
laptop.
oh, are you going to project specific catalog? You go to explore. So you go to the search bar and then click explore. That's how you get to the global catalog.
I thought that
Like,
was
right,
being removed. No.
this is what I'm talking about. So, like,
Yeah.
start on this page on prod,
Yeah.
and like,
Hmm. Hmm.
if you in the Zoom chat,
Hmm.
Oh, I don't have it.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I don't think it's being removed, Terry. At least not yet. Or I could be
Oh.
behind, but this is the
No,
global
I thought
catalog.
someone mentioned it,
right? Like,
Yeah.
but I haven't been playing around with this, so.
Hmm. Hmm.
what is this, and how do I use it?
I love this. I love this.
Yeah, like I don't know the flows part. I know the agents part. I'll give you what I want. Can I give you my guess and then we'll see if I'm right I am?
Yeah.
I thought this is a way for people to create their own custom agents. They have to be attached to a project and you like I'm guessing this is a way for you to like create a custom agent with like a custom instruction file set. So you click new
Okay.
and be like, here's the prompt,
And I think that's what
but
I
ask
forgot.
for
Like I
like
have to be in a project that's been like added to, otherwise you just don't see anything, right?
I think this like you have to attach it to a project.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
And
I don't
that's
know.
done where again? Maybe
In
that's
the
what I'm
new
missing.
agent UI under the visibility and access, there's like a project drop down. Now I'm interested in can you find the GitLab project in there?
Yeah.
Can I find the GitLab project in here? I
Wait,
usually go
Yeah.
through my
How
MRs
do
and stuff.
you select the project and what does that look like? So if, let's say we fill
Yeah.
this out, let's create a new agent
but why are
like
we
that.
making a new one? Like my question is all the other stuff in that list. Like, how do I
Um,
use it? Like
Yeah.
the ones that are already there.
Yeah.
I don't
Um,
know.
so this is kind of analogous to doing a duo chat here, except that you get to custom define like how your agent behaves. So that's what the system prompt is. Like you can be like, always talk like a pirate and solve my
Mhm.
programming issues. That's kind of
But
like the system prompt
even
here.
before we get here to make a new one, like that original link that I gave, that was a list of stuff there,
That
right?
people have made, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like going not on this create screen, on the original screen here.
Mhm.
Like, how do I use one of these? I'm like, oh, that looks useful. I want to use it. What do I do?
That I don't know the answer to, Jesse.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we
What
have the ability to
what is the point
add.
of this list then? Like, is it just to find ones you created yourself, or like a
I
catalog implies it's something that I can look stuff up in and make use of.
Like, so if
That's
you
what
click enable in project, I don't know if you have to
yeah.
be like, if you click that, if you, what
where's
permission you
that?
have to have. There's, if, when
Oh,
you
okay,
click on
enable and
the, if you're in the agent itself, you can enable it in a project.
do I have to
Um,
be okay? If you click enable in project, what does that
I don't
actually
know
do
what
though?
permissions you get. Yeah, if you click that enable in project button, I feel like you might have to be some project
Oh, then you
level to
select the
like,
project. You have to be maintainer. It says on the dialog if you
yes.
click it.
Okay. So you have to be a maintainer to add it because otherwise people would be adding all sorts of random things and I don't want a pirate one in here. Like I
Right.
want, I
And
want
so then that project, if I go and then I do the duo chat, then it will be in
Yeah.
some drop down
You'll see
there.
Mhm.
the drop down there.
Yeah.
All
Like I
right.
would love to create, I think they were working on custom, like creating a custom one for us that's like a database helper or something for like reviewing database MRs or for like looking at data. Like I don't know. Someone was talking about it.
Okay. So under the covers, like these are MCP protocol. Like what is it? Is it like a scaling slide that it just gets used automatically, or is it more like a command that, it's specific and you invoke it? That's the only thing being invoked for that prompt.
Well, did you show the tool drop down, Norman, in there? Like the tool
Sorry.
options?
I think I turned off my sharing here.
Okay. But I think what it's more akin to, like, Chad, are you familiar with how like Claude.ai works, right? They basically use the Claude API, and then there is a system prompt, which Anthropic publishes in their changelog. And so you can see what it is. So it's basically making a call to the API with there are a set of tools, I guess, because you could do like web search with Claude.ai, and then uh, there's a custom prompt. What we are doing is we are replacing that custom prompt with whatever you set as your system prompt. So we're making a call to the API, but then we are also allowing you to select a set of tools so that if the call to the API determines that one of these tools would be appropriate for solving the problem, it would do a tool call.
And so when you use these, it's like you can just only pick one of them to use. So
So you can
it's
pick as many as you want. So it will run we're using under the hood the light LLM, or not light LLM, the LangChain framework. So we're using LangChain.
oh,
Have
the
you worked
agent
that
is
up?
using the tools, but you can only use
Yeah,
one agent per
per
chat
chat.
from the catalog.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which is why flows are more can be like multi-agent in theory.
Okay, that
Um,
was my next question. And I don't know what flows are. So that's the fundamental difference.
mhm,
Flows let you have multiple
mhm,
agents that are
mhm.
wired together. And you wire those together how? Is that a
So
config
that's
file?
that's
Okay.
what that's what LangChain/LangGraph does for us. So they're a
Line
wrapper around
graph.
the
We're
agent
using
calls,
those.
and they
Okay.
also they'll handle like persistence and like tool calls. And so when you're chatting with Duo Chat, it's just this very simple flow. It's just an agent with tools, and it just loops forever. Um,
Ooh, can
some
you
of
send
our
me this link?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a great link.
So
And I
some
would
of our
assume
flows.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Kind of same diagram you were just showing, right? Except that the agent system prompt is whatever you included, and the tools are whatever tools you want. Whereas with Duo Chat, there's a preset system prompt and a preset list of tools, and your custom agent would just be a customized version of this exact graph.
Yeah,
Okay, this
so
is all making a ton more sense now. So if I want to make a flow, like where's the docs or starting point to like the line chain or line graph syntax that I need to send and use?
so what you'd want to do is use the flow registry, which is like our abstraction around LangGraph, and you can just basically define it in YAML. Um, and so here, let me give you an example. So you want to use the V1 here.
Okay, can you
You
drop
just
these links too?
Yeah, so you would just define it in YAML, and you'd have to read through this, but that would allow you to answer your question, have multiple agents. So you could have like an agent gather context, an agent do some planning, an agent do execution, and each of those
Okay,
could have a different set of tools. And this is what you'd want to use.
this is all making more sense. Like I just literally didn't know how we
Yeah.
implemented this and where to even start looking. So if you could, is that the link you just dropped?
Yeah, yeah. So the second one
Okay,
is
great.
flow registry, and then you can look at the existing in the AI gateway. There's like fix_pipeline.yaml if you want to see that one, and for an example, or you can just read these docs that should hopefully help.
Mm,
I think you answered like all my questions, or at least like you
wow.
taught me how to fish. I was just like standing and looking at the lake, being there's fish in there. I have no idea where to start
I mean,
Yeah.
getting
you're
at
you're
them.
on the right track. Like the agent catalog just gives you like a single agent that just runs in this loop, and you'd have to there's work being done to create custom flows via UI, like in the IDE and maybe on the web eventually. But right now it's YAML format
Right.
only.
And the thing I'm
Yeah.
interested in, which is like sort of the flow that in this class that I'm taking on Cloud Code based, which is it really just relies on, so there's, the model, the context, the prompt, and the tools.
Mhm.
But in Claude Code, it leverages the custom commands, which are just .claude commands, and then it's just literally a markdown file, right? Like Gemini makes some TOML files, but in Claude Code, they're just a markdown file, which is like you can literally say just use this tool and it figures it out. And then
Mm,
with those primitives and Python glue code, you just literally say invoke this slash command, and that's a subagent, right? Invoke this, run this Python file and take the output and do something with it. It's literally just English in Markdown. So then there's no lang chain, there's no, you know, specific syntax, there's nothing. It's just the Claude Code custom commands and Python glue code and your prompt, and that's it.
mhm.
So that's sort of what I'm wanting to do, and that's why I'm really interested in Duo supporting custom commands like that. Is that then you can wire together whatever you want without
Mm.
being tied to any specific model or ecosystem or syntax for wiring together the agents like LangChain or LangGraph.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know if I agree with the statement that there's no LangChain. They have some framework to make this agentic stuff work, and that's what the LangChain/LangGraph
Right,
stuff
but
does.
that's sort of hidden like in the CLI tool, in Claude
Yep.
Code
Yep.
or Gemini CLI or Hero CRI or OpenAI's CLI. Like they just
Hmm.
through the text of the prompt, it figures out how to do what you've asked it to
Yeah.
do, which is either directly invoke a slash command or call a tool or run a script.
Yep.
And is that plain text programming? Is it Agents MD? Is that what it is, or is that something else
No,
specific to
like
Claude?
it's the way Claude Code works. Like there's the .claude in the root of your project, and
Yeah.
then there's a command subdirectory, and in there you just literally have the do this .md, and Claude Code automatically turns that into a slash command. The way that I think
Mm,
OpenAI works, like they're all like in your home directory, so they're like not per project. And I think the way Gemini works is they're in your project, but they have to be TOML files. They're not plain text, but literally it's just like
mm,
a TOML file with a description, and then the prompt is just the markdown. It's the same thing, but just with TOML wrapped around it.
mm.
So like that's the direction it seems that the three big ones are going. And that's what I'd like to see supported in Duo as well.
I mean, I think you can probably, I haven't tested this, but with Agents MD, you could probably be like, when I type slash whatever, do this action. And you could probably put those instructions in agents.md. And then for your project,
Is
you
that
have
per
a,
project?
yeah, it's per project. Just in the home directory of your project right now. Some of the other uh, agentic tools out there, I'll let you do an agents MD in every subdirectory, and then it'll be like contextual, like when you're in this subdirectory, use this one. But I don't think we're there yet. We just have like a single one at the
Okay.
root directory. And uh,
So that's what I
now that I'm
didn't really
thinking about it,
understand how that correlated to Claude commands. So maybe the same thing is possible, but in a more primitive way.
but now that I think about it, I don't know if our agentic chat uses the agent MD yet. Do you know, Jesse?
I've been like begging somebody to document Agents MD because I don't have
Yeah,
the
so we
patience to dig through the code to understand how it works exactly. Um, but oh wait, there's a draft. There's a draft.
On the
Um,
CLI issue I opened for commands, like they were talking about agent SIMD, and I didn't understand the implications of it. So
Mhm,
now I'm
mhm.
getting it. I can try to see more about what
yeah,
it does.
it looks like if create Agents MD instruction files. I'm just trying to, gosh, there's a lot of comments on this. I'm trying to see. It looks like they're putting it within the chat markdown file, so that would indicate that it is used by chat,
Okay, great.
but I don't know. There's a lot of comments here.
Mine uses it. Well, I have mine set my markdown file. It says to give me like a percentage of how sure you think you are at the top of every answer, and it does do that in one of the IDE chats.
Mm.
In your agent's MD file, you have custom
Yeah, in
instructions.
my agents ND file, I have custom
Mm.
instructions that's like do this thing.
And why did
It
you do
says,
agent's MD instead of custom instructions?
oh,
Because we
I
also
did
support that.
chat. I did whatever one was, not agents MD. I did chat rules MD.
Yeah,
That's
so
different.
that's
But like
we've been supporting that
this,
for a little while, and that's why maybe this is like the Roman fireside chat hour. Why I'm not totally up to date on why I know Agents MD is like a cross industry standards. That's one reason to adopt it, but I don't fully understand why I would use Agents MD over a custom roles MD.
And
hmm.
like what exactly is it doing under the covers? Is it just
Mhm.
appending that to your prompt, or is it invoking something else?
Hmm.
So for the I've only worked with it in our like remote flows. So in like fixed pipeline and stuff, it just puts it in the prompt with the other context. But I'm not sure how chat is doing it. Like Terry said, she sees it working.
No, she
I'm
said she
curious if
was
that's in that.
using custom commands, not
Yeah,
agents
Using
MD.
I
custom
opened
Oh,
up
instructions.
yeah, I'm using the chat rules, but it seems
For chat
like
rules.
Mhm.
now there is a different, this is a different way to do the same thing. I don't know. Um,
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the chat rules at all.
Yeah, it like basically they serve different purposes. Like for example, cloud skills versus commands. Skills are like global and it figures out which skill to use, but they're all always in scope. Whereas a command is a slash command is explicitly invoked and it's, much more targeted to your context and it's only pulled in when it's needed, which keeps your context and the scope of what
Mhm.
the prompt invocation is doing focused if you take that
yeah.
approach.
Mhm.
That's why I'm asking, like, if it just appends the whole agents.md to your prompt, like that's really not what you want because that's blowing up your context and adding, a
Yeah.
bunch of unrelated stuff that you don't necessarily want an extremely targeted single task agent to even care about, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so. It says when DuoChat discovers additional agent files and subdirectories, it is instructed to review the relevant file before editing files in that directory. But the root instructions are always loaded. What does always loaded mean?
And what are the root instructions?
So it looks
Like,
like you can have a project level, top level agents.md. I don't know
mhm.
if it has to be all caps or not. Um, And those root instructions are always loaded, but you can say under front end folder, have an agents.md that applies to the files in that folder.
Hmm.
And you can have one in backend and you can have one in database,
Hmm.
which I guess is kind of nice because that allows it to say, hey, I'm reviewing a file that's in this database folder. I see like special instructions in here for this. Go, but it seems like those aren't always loaded.
Right. But that's
But it
not
doesn't say
necessarily how you
what
want to,
loaded means. Yeah, I don't know.
and also that's like, you don't necessarily want to slice things per file system hierarchy. I may say, I have a very specific task, which is like, I want you to write a test for this and or execute some agentic workflow that you have. But it's like, I want you to pull in this file and this file and this file and run this script and invoke this slash command, but it could touch the entire file system. But it's like you want to be very targeted for it,
Hmm.
for that particular command and prompt of what that agent's task is. And that
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily align with like file system directory hierarchy. Because, for example, like I've got the test directory, there could be any number of different tasks and goals I want to do related to my test. Maybe I want to run them. Maybe I want to refactor them. Maybe I want to, rename them. And those are completely different goals with different prompts and stuff. And I wouldn't want to necessarily dump that all into one agent.md and have, every agent that ever touches that directory have all that context loaded in.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yeah,
No?
it's like my
I didn't think
brain
so.
is. No, it makes sense, but I'm trying to understand how I guess I still don't understand how this is different from custom instructions. If we're just
Custom
appending
instructions
both.
are like explicitly like they're only run if you invoke, like in Claude code at least, if you run a slash command, right? So it's like
Oh.
that's only loaded by typing slash whatever the name of the file under dot Claude commands dot MD is. And so you can
Mm,
target it target and invoke just the prompt that is in that file. And that's all your agent's doing. And it's not pulling in any other context to confuse it or blow up its,
Oh, but so like
limited
having these
context.
always loaded is going to always have them on top of things, so you can't get
It
away
blows up your
from,
context and it
yeah,
tells it things that it doesn't even care about,
yeah,
which
you
is going to
can't get
make it
away
churn
from
more.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the problem. You can't. So commands are specifically targeted, allow you to specifically target only pulling in what your agent is doing.
yeah, I think that that's not how our custom instructions work. So I guess in
It's
our
not,
case,
and
I
that's
don't,
the
there's,
issue I've opened. They've opened an
yeah,
Epic to try to add this, like Claude Code and the other two support as well.
got it.
Custom
Okay.
commands. Like I'll drop
Yeah.
the Epic.
Okay. Yeah. Because I just looked at the one of the implementation. I put it in the chat, one of the implementation MRs for for agents MD, and they are just like appending it. They're just like, here you go. Here's the file. Um,
Not to like add more confusion to this, but we only covered one of the tabs and I looked at the other one and I'm very also more confused. So we looked
the
at
flows.
agents.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how would I even go about knowing how to write one of these things? I don't know. I looked at one of them. It looks
I dropped
Yeah.
the Epic in there.
complicated.
Yeah.
Let me look at
Yep.
a simpler one.
Um,
Graph
yeah, I mean, the
view.
flow, like I think what Roman was showing us, that flow registry framework documentation is what you would
Yeah.
want to look at. Now, do we link to that
Okay.
from the documentation
Hmm.
from the view? No, I don't see that we do.
No.
Right?
This stuff's so new. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think that
But
we've really
oh my
added
God, I
it.
don't know. This would have felt like looking at my first time at the CI file. It's a little confusing. But
Yeah, it's pretty confusing. I mean, I don't know. Do you know, Roman, of anyone? Like, have you created a custom flow for anything or tried it out?
I mean, Fixed Pipeline is using that, and so is our new issue to MR flow, and so is the new code review.
We
They're
look
all
at the
using the flow
custom
registry.
flow. Can we should look at Fix CI pipeline one and see as an example?
Sure. Sorry, I stopped sharing, didn't
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay.
We were
where did I put the documentation? I have this graph
documentation.
somewhere. Yeah, okay.
Oh
Let me
yeah.
just, so if
Oh, look
you,
at the visualization first.
AFK.
Wow.
so here's a visual version,
Mhm.
and
I keep getting flashbacks to like DAGs,
they
to
are
airflow
DAGs.
DAGs. They're airflow DAGs.
Oh, sorry, they're actually not DAGs. You can have cycles, but
Ah.
uh,
Okay.
anyways, this is what it looks like visually, and then it's defined in the YAML file. So these charts are generated from these YAML files. So fixed pipeline, you would just look for fixedpipeline.yaml in the AI Gateway repo. And then, so you have name, optional description, so
But
on.
this flow is not available in the AI catalog, like this one we're looking at.
Right. So
Okay.
that AI catalog is just those ones have the exact same structure as the
Okay.
chat. So it's just a single agent with a bunch of tools. So that's all you get to define. So you
What
only
about
get
the
to define
flows
the
though,
system prompt.
Roman? What about the
Sorry?
flows? What about she's talking about custom flows in the catalog.
Oh, custom flows.
Custom
I'm
flows
not
would
sure where we
be
are with that.
they're I think they just use like go look at it. It's just that it gives you
Right, right.
YAML, right?
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that should be the same as this
Similar.
then.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
on what's
That
on the
should be the
right.
same.
The difference is the one on the right is a foundational flow. It's created by us, so that's
Mm.
why it's in the AI Gateway. We're not expecting our customers to add YAML to AI Gateway like this. They will
Mhm.
add it in the UI,
Yep.
but Roman adds it into the AI Gateway because then we have a distribution mechanism to give it to all GitLab instances through the AI Gateway
Exactly.
service.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. And then so when you make a custom one in the UI, instead of putting that YAML in the repo somewhere, it's actually Rails is sending this entire YAML file to the back end and saying run this um, with our platform.
So, what can you walk us through, Roman, the YAML and or I don't know if it's do you think that's the best way to learn about like to look at the YAML and understand what
Yeah, just
these
to look at
different
it would be cool.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, we're
So
almost at end of time, so anything that I can do to like further my knowledge
We
about
should have been
stuff.
recording this. This was
We
awesome.
are. We are.
We
Oh, we
are.
are? Okay, great.
Yeah.
oh
It's
geez, I
going to
didn't
the
even.
cloud somewhere, I think.
And this
Uh,
Yeah.
needs to be transcribed.
so this graphical representation, each of these nodes can be one of three types. They can be agent component, a deterministic step component, or a one-off. And we just kind of have this level of abstraction for doing different things. So deterministic step component is just like a very simple so you can see here in the YAML file, each section in this components is one of these, and this one just basically says, here's the inputs. You have a file path, and then it's just going to run the read file tool, and that's it. So like I just want to run one tool. That's what this deterministic step component does. Um, Next up is this agent component. And these ones are kind of like the chat. They just have an agent with a bunch of tools, and you can give it like high level instructions, and it'll decide how many tools am I going to call, how many times am I going to call them, what am I going to do with it, and it'll decide when it's done. So it can loop however many times it decides to, or none at all, and it'll go on to the next step. So this is kind of like the smartest component here. So in this flow, we read the agents.md file, we gather the context, it decides based on the context whether it wants to fix the pipeline or not. If it says no, it's going to add a comment saying restart or retry your pipeline or fix your environment variables or whatever, hopefully, if it makes the right decision.
How is that
Um,
decision encoded? Is that in the YAML somewhere or in a file?
yeah, so this
There's the approach name
decide
on
approach
39.
component here. Um, you basically define what outputs you want. So you can, this one, I want to know its final answer. And in the instructions there, it says, you have two things you can output. You can either output create fix or add comment. And here's how you decide that, and here's the criteria and all that stuff in the prompt.
We
And
look
then
at
if you
that
scroll,
prompt, or is that too
Is,
annoying?
is that in the code?
that is in the prompts. Let me just let me just answer Chad's question first.
Okay, sorry.
So if you go down past all these components, there's this routers section, and this is where you define the edges, right? So the components up at the top are the nodes, and then these are the edges in the graph. And most of them are pretty linear, right? Like from this to this, from this to this. And then you can have conditional routes here too. So on this decide approach, it's saying, grab the final answer from this component and then route your next step based on its answer. So that's where you get these branches coming up here.
Is this YAML a custom schema that we have, or is this LangGraph or something?
This is our own wrapper around LangGraph because LangGraph is very low level.
Okay. Can you drop the link to this file too in the chat?
This file, sure. Yep. Jesse was asking if we could look at the prompt. We could look at the
Oh,
prompt.
I was curious just how we encode that decisioning in a prompt, right? Because it's like,
Yep,
it's not code, it's English. So it's an
that's right.
interesting thing of how does the agent use English to make a programmatic decision?
Okay, so let's go to that. Here we have a name called decide approach. And then if you look at the prompt ID, the ID is fixed pipeline decide approach, right? So then if we go up here to the AI Gateway repo, under the AI Gateway, which is part of the AI Gateway repo, very confusingly, it deals with our prompts. If you go under prompts here, definitions, and then you can look for the name, fixed pipeline decide approach. This is where we keep all our prompts. We have a directory for each kind of provider, which has provider specific instruct or parameters. And then the system and user are the ones that are used by all of them, right? So if we look at base, it's saying, here's my system prompt in the system file. Here's my user prompt in the user file. So I'm going to open those files up for you. We look at the user prompt. This is where the actual instructions are. And it just says, examine the information below and respond with either add comment or create fix. If you want to know how, there's like this, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the system and user prompt kind of thing. The system is where you say like, this is how you should behave. And then the user prompts are where you say like, this is the action I want you to take. So if you want to see a little bit more about like that definition there, we go to the system prompts. And this is where it says like, you can only respond one of two ways. I put it in XML because Anthropic likes things in XML when you pass it to a agent.
It literally
So
is
you can.
it's sending me the XML. XML. I complained to, I complained to, oh my gosh. I complained to someone about this already, so I'm sorry for interjecting. I
The
cannot
CEO of
believe this.
Anthropic?
No, I'm like, we got rid of this. This is like from the start of my career in development where an XML was awful. Okay, so we're
So are the
back.
system and the user prompts like passed in like different API fields for the call? Like how are they distinguished?
So then at the LangGraph level, they're like, there's a Python package, LangGraph package in Python that has different classes for each of these. So it'll pass it an array and it'll be like, here's one prompt, it's of type system.
Mm.
And then here's another prompt of type user. And you just
But
pass it this array of all these prompts and it'll, interpret them based on what type they are.
so under the covers, like what is that? Because that's still ultimately just passing it along to the whatever LLM you use. Like how does it distinguish those when it passes lang
I
graph
mean,
passes them on to the LLM?
that's part of training the LLM is they're training it on structured data of that form, and that's why if you pass it structured data, it'll interpret it more accurately.
But does it explicitly distinguish between what was originally the system prompt and the user prompt when it passes it, lang graph passes it to the LLM?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm not sure
Okay.
if they do that in XML in the core of it or some other thing, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they structure it in some format when they pass it to the actual agent.
And this is where Langsmith is helpful for me because you can actually see the API calls that go to Anthropic for all of this.
Hmm.
If you have Langsmith tracing
Mm.
enabled, either on production, which we can all do, or locally, and you'll see that there are different API, there are different fields for system prompt and user prompt um, when we make API calls to Anthropic.
Yeah, Langsmith's a game changer for debugging these things. Like they're a pain, huge pain if you don't have Langsmith to debug
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Thanks for showing that, Roman. So I see so
This has
basically in
been
the prompt, we say
illuminating.
possible responses are in these tags below, and you give these two possible response objects, and then you say you are strictly prohibited from responding in any other way. Like you must give one of these, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Okay.
basically it says it four different ways. Like really, really, really.
yeah, yeah, and then you'll see prompts where it's like "do not" in like capital letters, like because it's probably somebody saw the thing doing it, and they're like, "It's not." It's like having a little kid, you know. You're just like, "I said, do not do it."
Yeah, and
It's a
like
little like
comparing this to
babysitting
the way that
sometimes.
the Claude code commands work, like literally you just say create this, build this, delete this, and it knows like that is the action you want to doing with files. It's not structured like this at all,
Yeah,
but it still
yeah,
works as just plain English.
Yeah,
yeah.
so this is not tool calling. So what you're describing is tool calling, and the agent does that with our system too. It'll, transform what you're saying into a tool call. This is like a custom behavior. I'm kind of hacky where I'm just saying like output this if you think this, output this if you think that, and we're gonna go pass you to a different agent based on how you respond. Um, so rather than tool calling, it's basically agent calling, right?
Right. And this is just like trying to make the that API strict by passing, restricting it just to these two strings in the enumeration when it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
passes
And
it along.
this is basically trying to stay in the confines of the flow registry, this nice format we have. You could build tools that call an agent and be a little bit more explicit about it, like call this tool and the tool calls an agent and so on. But that just like kind of blows up the possibilities for the flow registry. So this seems to work fine in here, but it is a little bit of a cross your fingers and run it.
And can you show us one of the tool definitions, Roman, to get a sense of what those look like? Like, I don't know which tools we have available
Sure.
here. Fix, pipeline,
Uh,
Git. Oh, no, it's an agent component. Agent component would be an agent. So the tools
yeah,
that
so
each agent
the
is available are.
tools the tools are using LangGraph's kind of tool class. Let's look at the file system. Each of these, if you just look up like name, so
Mhm.
there's a read file tool. So you basically need to define the input format and then the tool itself. And so this duo base tool just inherits from the LangGraph base tool class. So this is coming from the LangGraph package in Python. And you basically describe your tool up here, and it has to have this name and description, these two pydantic fields, and then the agent will read these descriptions and use that to decide which tool to call. So it'll know, um, uh, which tool to use based on kind of the descriptions here. Um, and then they just need to implement this execute function, and that'll return values to the agent, and it'll pass it along and do what it wants with it.
Right.
The
And the
tool
wire of
descriptions
it
are
is
simple. Yeah.
117. That's like actually invoked in the thing that it's doing.
Uh, that is because we're using gRPC calls to our execution environment. So, here we're in our LangGraph environment, and we want to tell either our pipeline or our IDE environment or our web UI, we want to be like, okay, go do this thing wherever you are. And that's what this is for. It sends that um, command, and then inside the executor is actually where the command is actually executed. And that has to, um, that lives in different places depending on how you're running this.
Yeah. So like the course I'm taking, the way it's doing it, it's essentially the same thing, but it's like without the line graph in it. It's just Claude Code prompts and saying run this Python script directly, invoke this slash command to do another targeted prompt, and that's it. And but the Python glue code looks exactly like this, but it's just plain Python. It's not a subclassing line graph.
Right. Yeah, you can create LangGraph tools that are just functions that don't inherit from this tool class. You can just define functions and make a tool from that. You just do like Pydantic decorators and tell it that this is a tool that it can call. Because you don't want it calling any arbitrary function you have in your code base. You want to say, this is a tool you can call, or this is another function that I have for my infrastructure or whatever. So yeah, there are other ways of defining these tools, but we inherit from this class for all of ours.
Roman, thank you. We tricked you
Yep.
into giving us a demo of how everything works, and you thought you were just
Well,
asking a Git question.
I'm happy to make the payment. I was really stuck. So thank you for
Yeah,
helping
I
me,
want
and
to
I
hear
hope
if
I
your
helped you guys
Git's
out.
faster after those prunes and stuff. I hope it
Yeah,
is, because I feel like that's
true.
way too long. And even if you're not in the repo very often, like it's pretty, I don't know, that's
Mm,
just not manageable. Um,
well, Ruby Mine has lost his mind for me.
I
What?
have been having a lot of issues with this thing. Thank you to Chad for posting what you did, because I was gone for like a week for vacation and came back and was like, my editor is burning
They're
to
on
the
the struggle
ground.
bus for this
Yeah, they are.
25.3 release candidate.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
okay, I'll
So
be posting this recording if it's not already in the cloud somehow. And thanks again, Roman, and
yeah,
to
thank
everybody for
you.
bringing your
No worries. Thanks
expertise.
for all your help, everybody.
Yeah, I
See
will
ya.
definitely be bothering you for anything if I need help with this. No, I'm kidding. I'll be bothering you. But thank
I'm
you so
around.
much for demoing that stuff and for explaining it.
Yep, no worries.
Bye.
Mhm.